The world as we know it has an absolute obsession with cars. They love to get them, they love to drive them, they love to go fast in them, and so on and so forth. The one thing that isn't lost on many is the fact that when it comes to getting cars, people often want the most expensive car they can afford just to show that they can indeed afford it. Which is why some cars are just stupid expensive, especially in years like 2021. So allow us to show you the most expensive cars in 2021. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 9. 1964 Ford GT40. The 1964 Ford GT40 was born out of a need for competition, much like many other vehicles that would come after it. The 1964 Ford GT40 was built with the purpose of beating Ferrari on the racetrack, and so this very special ride was made to do just that. Now, it didn't exactly achieve its goal, but it's still pretty special. And what's more, the prototype for this car sold for about $7 million back in 2014, showing that when it comes to history and important cars in a company's life, the sky can truly be the limit, so long as the car lives up to the expectations and has a true connection to people. Number 8. Rolls-Royce Swept-Tail. In 2013, a billionaire came to Rolls-Royce and asked the historic auto house to design his own custom car. They did just that, and what came of it was the Rolls-Royce Swept-Tail. The Swept-Tail features a silhouette, round doors, and tail designs of historic Rolls models, with the benefit of 21st century technology and comfort. The ceiling of the car is one unbroken pane of durable glass, offering its driver a panoramic view of the world around him as it goes racing by. A very unique feature for a very unique car, wouldn't you say? But that is not the only luxury feature. Rather, this is a car with a champagne chiller, crystal flutes, titanium analog clocks, carbon fiber laptop stations, and even a customized hat shelf. All clearly meant to make this car feel luxurious both inside and out. But here's where the twist comes in. They only made one as it was custom for him. So while it cost $13 million to make, more or less, this is the most expensive luxury car that you literally cannot buy. Number 7. Bugatti La Voiture Noire. Bugatti, a French classic car manufacturer, decided that their 2019 supercar needed no flashy introduction or more nuanced marketing for its next major arrival. Rather, they wanted to let the car speak for itself in terms of what it looked like and what it could do. Jean Bugatti lost a beautiful Type 57 SC Atlantic vehicle in World War II. The La Voiture Noire is dedicated to the memory of that beloved car. With a handcrafted carbon fiber body, quad-turbo W16 8.0-liter engine with a stunning 1,500 horsepower capacity, the car screams elegance and power. When it debuted in 2019, it was the most expensive new car available for purchase. Now, with or without the story that drove its creation, the Bugatti La Voiture Noire is incredibly expensive at nearly $19 million in cost. Number 6. 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California SWB Spider. Now, the 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California SWB Spider is a close resemblance to the car that was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is still a classic movie despite it being decades old. And there were only about 55 of these Ferraris ever made, and thus its rarity drove up the price and its value overall. In fact, it is one of the most sought after Ferraris in the world today. The last one of these cars ever sold was for a whopping $17.2 million. Number 5. The Helica de Layat. The Helica de Layat could actually not be referred to as a car. Why? Well, one look at the ride would likely fill you in on that, as that is a propeller at the top of it and it does not have an engine. This vehicle was created in 1921 and was described as a plane without wings. This was not only because of the propeller, but because passengers sat in front of one another and not side by side. Despite its backwards engineering, it actually was able to go a blistering 105 miles per hour. Now remember, this was 1921, and this kind of speed was an extreme rarity compared to now where it is more, standard. And speaking of rarity, there were only 30 of these ever made. So add the number to the age, and it comes to a price of about $20 million. Now that may seem like a bit much, but in this case, it's not, as it is a key piece of history that shows what ingenuity and going against the grain can do. Number 4. 1962 Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato. Aston Martin is what you think of when you picture British car development. And you might also think of James Bond as well, since the spy had so many Aston Martin cars over the years. But one of the rarest and most expensive of the lot belongs to the 1962 Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato. It was shown to the world at the 1960 London Motor Show as a light and improved version of the standard DB4 GT. It was later taken back to the Zagato factory in Italy, where improvements were made to the ride. Now, one of the reasons it is so rare is because 25 of these cars were to be made, but production stopped once they reached 20. The car was powered by a 3.7-liter twin-spark straight-six engine that produced 314 horsepower, had a 0 to 60 acceleration time of 6.1 seconds, and a top speed of 154 miles per hour. Now, furthermore, many of the components for the ride from one model to the next were replaced with lighter parts, making it 100 pounds lighter and thus able to get to a top speed even faster. The 1962 Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato was so popular among car fans that it eventually had many spin-offs and a second-generation version was made, but the original was still the most popular and the most valuable. One of the originals sold at auction for an incredible $14.3 million. Number 3. Rolls-Royce 15 HP. The Rolls-Royce 15 HP isn't just a special brand of Rolls-Royce or an anniversary model, it is the very first one, and we mean that in a very literal sense. This is the vehicle that started the legendary brand, and it was made in 1904. The model was shown off in Paris with other variants of the car. Now, sure, overall, compared to many of the other cars on this list, it's not that impressive. In fact, its top speed was only 39 miles per hour. But remember, this is not about speed or aesthetic, it's about history. Furthermore, there were only 6 of this model made, and 5 of them are believed to be gone, which means there's only one left of this history-making car, and due to that, it is valued at $30 million. Number 2. 1957 Ferrari 250 Testarossa. The 1957 Ferrari 250 Testarossa is a world-renowned car, one that accumulated numerous race victories during its tenure and forced many other car companies to get creative to try and beat it. It took a long time to do that feat. The Testarossa wasn't just known for speed, it was also known for its style. Everything about it screams great design quality and creative minds. And with 34 of these built, that makes it rare by default, but when you add in the history of this fine vehicle, the price just goes up. An unrestored version of the Testarossa was sold at auction for over $39 million. So now imagine one that's restored to all of its former glory. It'd be worth a whole lot more. Number 1. 1962 GTO Ferrari. In terms of the most expensive car ever sold at an auction, and thus the most valuable and expensive car today, that would go to the 1962 GTO Ferrari that was sold at RM Sotheby's as part of the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance. Now, for the record, this was an auction that was flooded with top-notch cars and rides. And yet this GTO Ferrari came out on top when it sold for $48.4 million, making it officially the most expensive car ever sold at auction. This very special Ferrari was only made by the company 36 times and was mainly a racing car, but over time, its rarity brought in more people that wanted it. In fact, some even refer to this car as the holy grail of cars. Another reason why this car sold for so much was that it was considered one of the most beautiful and elegant cars ever made, which does say a lot about the car given that it was made over 66 years ago. But as the car world has shown time and time again, sometimes the best way to make something valuable is to make it right the first time, and then just wait for more and more people to want it. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the various expensive cars that you can go and find out there in the world right now in 2021? Are you surprised by the price of some of these vehicles? Do you think it's kind of crazy how much they cost? Do you feel that there's another car in the works right now that'll be incredibly expensive to get? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time on the channel.